Okay. Hi, Shalom. This is Chacham Melech Ben Yaakov of Karaite Insights, and I'm here with my good friend Eliezer, and we are climbing Mount Katadhin in northern Maine. Mount Katadhin is the end or the beginning of the Appalachian Trail, depending on which direction you're coming from, and it is the highest peak in Maine. Is that right, Eliezer?
Yep, it's the highest peak in Maine and the end of the foot of the Appalachian Trail.
There we go. So Eliezer wanted me to speak a little bit about freedom and about Yehovah and about Torah and about the difference between rabbinical Judaism and Karaitism and the world we live in today. So to make a long story short, the world we live in today is a slave trap. Most people who either follow rabbinical Judaism or standard Western culture are slaves. They're enslaved by the system. They're mentally enslaved, they're physically enslaved, and they don't even know it. So let's take rabbinical Judaism for a second. As Eliezer always likes to say, all kinds of ridiculous rules added onto the Torah.
Blown out of proportion.
There you go. Chime in whenever you want, Eliezer.
It's basically blown out of proportion, and you know, basically the rabbis are the most friendliest dictators out there.
There you go. So you heard it from the horse's mouth. So a lot of extra laws, ridiculous rules added onto the Torah, which make rabbinical Judaism not even recognizable as Torah. If Moshe were to come back, if David were to come back and look at the way that Jews are practicing rabbinical Judaism, they would either laugh, cry, or start going on a bloody killing spree. I'm not sure which one.
They'd be turning over in their grave.
There you go. So that's one entrapment, and all you need to do is go into rabbinical Jewish communities, especially the Haridim, the ultra-Orthodox, but even the Dati Lumi, and you see all the neurosis, you see all the strange behaviors, the mental illness, the constant watching over each other, more fear of what the neighbors think than of what Yehovah actually wants in his Torah.
And they're all puppets.
There you go, all puppets and some are marionettes.
By the rabbis.
There you go.
And they worship the rabbis instead of Yehovah.
There you go, you heard it. So I don't need to say anything more, okay? So that's one type of slavery, and I have many, many Orthodox Jewish friends, many of them who are kind of finding their own independence and their way out of Orthodox Judaism, and I see the struggles that they have to go through and undo the horrible, horrible, neurotic brainwashing that they've basically endured and been tortured with their entire lives. Okay, the other type of... Yeah, go ahead, Eliezer.
And Yehovah saved me 7 years ago by finding this true, prominent Karaite named Melech Ben Yaakov and Shia Ben Israel, who is, Shia is unfortunately not here. You'll get to meet him later. And
okay, let me go on. Thank you for that plug, and I'll pay you the money that I told you I'd pay you for saying that later. Okay. Now, the other type of enslavement that we have in this world is basically Western culture. I mean, look at the average American, the average Westerner. Israel has been infected by Western culture as well. What does the average American do all day? Works his ass off 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week for what? Just to make money so they can go spend on fancy cars and expensive, way overpriced houses, and that they never really own anyway. They just keep on paying off the mortgage for the rest of their lives. They eat, for the most part, crappy food, McDonald's, Burger King, God knows what, you know.
All with hydrogenated oils.
There you go.
And all with processed food.
Right? And in their free time, they shop, they watch TV. What interests them? You know, what's the latest TV series? What's going on in, what is it called? King of Thrones? I don't even know what the hell it's called. Game of Thrones, King of Thrones. What's going on in this series? What's going on in that series? What does this actor do? What does that actor do? This movie, who's playing in that movie? When is this movie? They don't even live their lives.
It's all for granted.
Yeah, they live their lives in someone else's movie, in someone else's fantasy world, created for them. To make a long story short, they are horribly, horribly plugged into the matrix. They're on antidepressants and pharmaceutical drugs and on and on and on. They live lives basically enslaved. They're miserable and they don't even know why. They're enslaved and they don't even realize it. and this is the life of the average American and
Thanks
the
to
average
civil rights movement.
right, and the average Westerner. Okay, we won't even get into feminism and all that kind of stuff. That'll be another talk. Okay, so that's the situation. Thank God, in both communities, people are starting to come out of it. Many ultra-Orthodox are starting to become more open, more free, and many Americans are starting to, choose, let's say, organic food and, back to basics kind of life. So there is movement out of it, but for the most part, you have horrible enslavement. For an Israelite, a Jew that lives in America or in the West, even in Israel, they're enslaved often by both of these cultures, both of these sets of rules. So that's life in the Matrix. And to make a long story short, this is just the opposite of Torah. Okay, when Torah is freedom. If you don't feel free, you're not free. Okay, Yehovah is freedom. Even the name, you just say it. Yehovah. It just
one breath.
Yeah, it's just like a breath.
Yehovah.
It's freedom. Okay, and that's the Elohim, the God that came to free us. When He appeared to Am Yisrael, to the people of Israel, He didn't appear there to give us neurotic laws, and He didn't appear there to enslave us, and He didn't appear there to work us hard. He appeared in Egypt for one thing, and that was to what? To free us. Okay, and that's what true Torah is all about. It's all about being free, and it's all about freedom. Okay. Now, of course, freedom doesn't mean there are no rules. Okay, if you obey the law of gravity, or if you try to disobey the law of gravity, then you're not going to be very free. But freedom means being in the flow with the universe, and the Torah gives us the laws. When the Torah is understood in a very simple fashion, in a very pshat fashion, then it gives us the laws that allow us to free ourselves and allow us to go in the flow with the universe. So if you feel free, as I do as a Karaite, as I do following the ways of Yehovah and following the true ways of the Torah, I hope and I believe and I try, then I feel like a free person. And I feel that when I meet people who are trapped in either the matrix of rabbinical Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, or the matrix of Western culture, I feel like I'm speaking to basically a zombie, someone who's a slave, someone who's trapped and didn't even know it. So we're going to talk more on the way up to Mount Katadhin, and hopefully, if the weather permitting, we'll do a nice video from the summit of Mount Katadhin. But just wanted to give you that introduction, and wanted to welcome you to our little video journey together today from northern Maine. Thank you.